Al-Salam, Queen of Queens, Phoenix Ramadan, L. Jackson, back in the light of Brazeera Cyber Network. Tonight, Libra, new moon, light video conversation is regarding exposing the soul. Conversation. So, with Jupiter in Libra, just entered Libra on September 9th, right? And Venus in Libra, the Sun and the Moon in Libra, Uranus in Aries, Mars and Capricorn, all those cardinal signs, all that cardinal energy, right, means a great deal. And we're going to see what all that means, right? Okay. So, there's a lot of energy out there to be absorbed, a lot of positive energy, a lot of good, holy energy, okay, divine celestial energy to be absorbed, okay, and we have Saturn, but Saturn in Sagittarius, right? So that's a lot of, those are very, very good places, right, for strong places, right, significant places, okay. So there's a lot of energy to be absorbed by the spirit, and we talked about energy that was going to be absorbed by the spirit way back in, that energy that was going to be absorbed by the spirit way back in 2013 when we had Comet Elenon going through, and we had Comet Ison going through, okay? So we knew that energy was going, we expected that energy. I expected that, mashallah, I expected that energy to descend upon, you know, the earth and the earth's grid to absorb that energy, and of course eventually it would be absorbed by, you know, the human spirit, right, or everything on earth, right? So we expected that energy to be absorbed, and we expected the karma to return, one's karma to return, right? So these things are not new to us, right? So now, so it's going to be, the energy is going to be absorbed by the spirit. It's going to be an increase, right? And it will be more than the body is accustomed to processing, right? Because when we go to bed at night, right, our energy is restored, our energy level is restored. Well, this is going to be an energy increase, right, that our body must absorb, process, right? Now, so the body has to absorb this overflow, this overdose of energy, and we're going to see how that's going to be absorbed, right? Okay. Now, so that is why purging was so very important at that very crucial period prior to this download, this energy download that we spoke about, right? Because like any intoxication, it will have an effect on the behavior of the individual, because this is going to be like an energy intoxication, where the energy that's going to, when the energy is absorbed, it's going to be so strong, you know, that the person, it's going to have an overload. It's going to be bursting. The person's going to be bursting through the seams with energy, right? So it's going to have a great effect on their behavior. And the individual, it can bring out the best of the individual, and this energy overload can bring out the worst. That would be karma, right? So if the person has not purged themselves of unclean, and they have an unclean spirit, then that spiritual filth, that Babylonian spiritual filth of the unclean spirituality will come through, right? But if they purge themselves of that unclean spirit and purify their spirit, then what will come through when that energy comes through will only be divine, will only be beautiful, will only be a beautiful aspect of the human being. Another thing purging will have done too is that it will have made space, okay, for the energy to be absorbed and make it easier for processing, right? Okay. Now, so as I said, it was it can bring out the best in the human being, and it can bring out the worst in the human being. Whatever's in there is going to come out. It's going to come to the surface. Whatever the person's been trying to repress emotionally will be coming through the surface. Whatever they've been trying to repress psychologically is going to come through the surface. Okay? And it will appear as if the person is drunk. Okay, or out of their mind, or something is wrong with it, or an imbalance, right? Because what we're going to have to do is learn to balance that energy that we're going to be absorbing, right? And that energy is going to cause an awakening, right? Everybody too, it's going to cause an awakening. Okay, purging would have been great, to make space available for the celestial energy that is going to be abundant, in the atmosphere. Okay. Now, so it's going to affect the behavior, and it can be self-destructive, right? Because if a person has unclean spirit, then that's going to cause them to have self-destructive behavior, right? But if they have a clean, purified spirit, okay, then that energy increase will heighten their intuition, heighten their intellect. It will have a positive effect on them, right? It will enable and strengthen them, enable them to accomplish their dreams and their goals, right? Okay, so it's going to affect their emotions, it's going to affect their thoughts, it's going to affect everything, okay? The celestial energy will be an induction, and as I said, such an overflow, it will cause the behaviors, the thoughts, and emotions to surface, okay? And the person will have no control over it. They won't have any control over it, because you can't control, the spiritual realm, you can only control yourself. But with this spiritual overflow, you won't be able to control what happens to your body. You will be able to control how if you got a clean spirit, how you process it. But you will be able to control how you process it, but you have to be in balance, right? Because the person who has an unclean spirit, and it brings that filth to the surface, that spiritual filth to the surface, then they have to purify themselves first. Then they have to try to balance the energy, but they will be at a decrease of energy, because they're going to have to burn that positive energy trying to balance out to purge themselves of the negative energy, and then try to balance out the energy induction. But in the same time, they're going to have to do it by themselves, because nobody's going to have time to work with an unclean spirit. When they were told, they were warned, they had plenty of opportunity to get rid of, to purge themselves, okay, to purify their spirit of the Babylonian consciousness, okay, the brother, the blue blood, brother, Vatican, Zionist Vatican, fake Israeli abomination, okay, consciousness, fake Israeli abominating consciousness. Now, Israel is really Babylon in disguise, okay? It's running around trying to pretend like they're holier than thou, a Jewish state and all that. They're a nation of abominating Khazars from what do they call it? The Caucasus Mountains, okay, believed to the Gog and Magog in disguise. It's Babylon in disguise. It's the whore, okay? So whenever I refer to Israel, I'm not going to say Israel. I'm going to say Babylon. It's Babylon, and any of those supporting Israel is supporting Babylon, okay? So you were to rid yourself of the Babylonian consciousness, okay? Babylonian brother, abominating consciousness, okay? And if you have not, then that is what's going to come through that wicketry, that wicked spirit, that unclean spirituality is going to come through, and it's going to be self-destructive, and there will be no one to help, and nobody should care, because you had the opportunity to purify yourself and you did not. Okay? Believe me, I won't care. I won't have time to care. Nobody will have time to care. They're too busy purifying themselves. Okay, I mean, balancing out and living happily. Okay, learning what to do with that new energy influx. Okay, that heightened awareness. Okay, so now the energy induction will force it will force that which one tries to repress to be exposed for all the world to see. Kind of like what Hillary Clinton is going through. You see Hillary Clinton going through all those changes, and some say, oh, it's Parkinson's, it's whatever. No, it's those demons coming through. It's those unclean spirits that she's taken on throughout the years with all of her ill behavior, okay? All of her Babylonian behavior, okay? All of her brother fucking or sister fucking sister behavior. Okay, that is what Hillary Clinton is demonstrating, and for the world to see what others will see, or how others will behave when this energy begins to process its establish itself in the individual. Okay, now she did not purge herself, so you see the result of the life she's living. Okay. Now, that is what she is going through right now. She's going through that energy induction in which she cannot control, and all that energy, that wicketry, that unclean spirit that she's lived all those years of corruption, political corruption, harming people, not caring about people, greedy, trying to go to the top, selfishness, practicing the Babylonian spirituality of racism and fragmentation and conscious fragmentation, spiritual fragmentation. And what was that? What did she do? Benghazi, right? In killing the American soul. Well, you know, playing a part in the destruction of American people and people all globally, right? So all of that is coming back. That is karma. Her karma is coming through, and she cannot handle it. Even when they give her medication, it won't work. She cannot balance herself, and she doesn't have the, probably don't, Allahu Alam, but and that means only Allah knows. She might not have the time to be able to balance herself. She might not have the spiritual consciousness to balance herself. Okay, and believe me, you know, no one really has time to assist with that type of behavior. Now, for those who elected to repress their spiritual, they rather than purge themselves, they elected to repress their spiritual contamination. Okay, back to their subconsciousness, and didn't want to do it. Right? They didn't want to rid themselves of the Babylonian consciousness. You know, you know, a sociopathic behavior, right? Or brother fucking brother, and not caring about humanity, and not being empathetic to and caring and compassionate and loving, and you know, and wanting to seek a better world. All of that's going to come to the top. Okay, you know, their lack of their spirit, as I said, their unclean spirit is going to surface. Okay, and it's going to affect them, their thoughts. They're going to appear very out of balance, because they will be out of balance, right? They will be all that fragmentation, that Humpty Dumpty consciousness is going to come through, right? And we discussed what Humpty Dumpty consciousness is, right? It's whereby the individual is very fragmented himself, and because of his own need to be in control of himself, and his inability to control himself, he has to control the world around him. right, in order for himself to feel consciously sane, kind of exactly like what Donald Trump, and that's his name, Trump. He changed it to Trump, so we pray that Trump will be trumped. No, the Trump will be trumped. Okay, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will trump the Trump. Okay, now, so he has a big need because he's consciously fragmented. Okay, so he has a great need to try and control the world around him, that the world may reflect his consciousness, right? Because the Mexicans are all rapists, okay, but yet there's a video out there that, you know, that he has a case, a court case, you know, that young lady has filed against him, stating that he raped her at 13 years old, right? And he hanged around his great friend, which he stated was his good friend, and he supported was a child molester himself, right? And basically a pimp for the House of Windsor, right? And Clinton and Trump, apparently, or Trump, right? So he has a case pending, and the fact that he opened a university that wasn't a university and conned people out of their wealth, right? So, and it's all great, right? Wants to make America great, but the first lady will be what? A foreigner, right? So will not even be American first lady, right? Okay. So, and even his slogan, "Make America Great," is Ronald Reagan, right? Don't even have his own consciousness, his own slogan. And then his wife gave the speech, right, about her husband, that was given by the man bride of Abomination, right? Mr. Miss Obama, right? Obama's man bride, right? So nothing's authentic about him, right? Right down to his Humpty Trumpty consciousness, right, where he's mentally fragmented, mentally, emotionally, okay, fragmented, and he wants to have the world reflect his fascist consciousness. He's not a racist, he's beyond racist, he's a fascist, and all of those Ku Klux Klans, Aryan heads, and skin nations who think that the fascist Humpty Trumpty, Donald Trumpty, is going to support them, you are very wrong. Wait till he is for Babylon, okay, the new Babylon, the fake Israel, Greater Babylon project, okay, and when he tries to come and take your guns away, and he tries to destroy America, then you'll wake up and see that your support of Trumpty, or Trumpty, was all in vain to your own detriment, okay? Now, so, and furthermore, you're wasting time by not purging yourself of that Babylonian fascist consciousness that is self-destructive only to you. Okay, you're wasting time. Okay, by having not purged yourself of it, and when that energy is going to force it to the side, force it to the front, and then you're going to be out of control, right? Okay. Okay. So, as I said, you should have purged yourself. Okay. Because rather than you will purge, the person will appear out of balance, and they will be suffering, right? The consequences of not having forced those purge themselves, okay? Because that wicked, that unclean spirit is going to be forced to the surface, okay? And a life of confusion will be the result, okay? Because reality will not be reality anymore, because what did we say? We moved to a higher level of consciousness, okay? Because of the energy influx, okay? Okay? No longer will they have the power to control themselves, okay? The only way to control will be to eliminate, okay, those unclean spirits, right? Okay. Okay. Now, we said by not doing so, the spirit, it's going to be an energy induction, so it's a spiritual induction, right? So the spiritual induction or energy increase will cause such a mental and emotional imbalance in one's behavior to the point whereby the individual will appear to be behaving abnormal or even mad. Okay? Okay. All spiritual power, all spiritual perversions will be forced. All spiritual perversions that they've been repressing, okay, from behind, let's say, the veil. Okay, that behind the veil means not acting it out in behavior, but in thought, and in private they do these spiritual perversions. Okay, they will be forced to the surface. Okay, and they will be acting out of control. Those who have possessed unclean spirits, right? Now, and they will have no control over them. Now, for those who have purged and made the positive space in their soul, they will have a greater perception and naturally enhanced intuition, okay, and a greater comprehension of life along with a greater appreciation for the world, okay, and for preserving the world, preserving life. It will be exactly why it was spiritually prescribed to pursue your dreams. That's why it was important to pursue your dreams, to work on your dreams. It was said, follow your dreams, follow your dreams. You were hearing that everywhere. Follow your dreams. Start working on your dreams, pursuing those that your dreams is that silent intuition that comes in your mind. You should do that. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I can do that. I can do this. I really like doing that. Or whatever particular, thought you were having. That was your intuition. It was important to follow that. Why? Because the spiritual induction is going to enhance your ability to do that. Okay? And that would be your gifts and your talents. Okay? And coming from your hearts. Right? Your heart programming when you were born. Your intuition. Right? And I put the videos of inherent programming up so that you will be familiar with what I am speaking of. Okay? So you were to follow your heart's desires, follow your dreams, follow your intel, follow your intuition, because when you start to have this increase, your thoughts are going to expand and your desire to follow your dreams are going to become more demanding within your consciousness. So using your inherent gifts, as I said, and talents, you will be able to provide for yourself, because with the influx of cosmic energy, one's natural gifts and abilities will be naturally enhanced as well. Now, if you've been working on, following your dreams, and you've been great before, you're going to be greater. If you were good before, you're going to be better. If you were no good before and you purge yourself and you've been working on yourself and you've been learning to follow, you've been doctoring your dreams, and say you've been cultivating your dreams, you're going to be good. And as you get good, you're going to get better. You get better, you're going to get greater. You get greater, you're going to get great. I mean, very great. So it's just going to get better and better and better and better and better, right? And that's the separating the weeds from the tares, right? Because while the tares get worse, the wheat gets better and better and better and better. There become multiple ways to utilize it, right? And the tares just fall to the wayside, right? So that's the time of separating the wheat from the tares. And we spoke of that too, right? So now we're living in a time of harvest, right? Because I do believe this is also a harvest moon, okay? So we're harvesting, humanity is being harvested, right? Okay, the good is being harvested. So those who purge themselves are going to reap the benefits, right, of what they've sown within themselves, right? Okay. So now, as I said, okay. Now, so if you were good, you're going to get better. Now you will be naturally great. You'll be naturally great at your gifts. You won't have to study so hard. You won't have to work so hard. You'll just think about the idea and try to figure it out, apply some knowledge that you've already, you know, gained throughout your lifespan, and it will just, the keys will start coming to it. It will just, the knowledge will just flow to you naturally, right? The answers, right? Now, so, and that, as to how to utilize your gift, how to enhance your gift, okay, will become intuitive, right? All humanity has gifts, although one must work at their gifts to learn their craft, right? So while you have gifts and talents, yes, that's potential, right? But it's like the mustard seed, right? The mustard seed of faith, the mustard seed of gifts, the mustard seed of talents, the mustard seed of intuition, right? The mustard seed of awareness. If you water that mustard seed, nurture that mustard seed, okay, it's going to grow, right? So you have the gifts, you have the talents. The mustard seed is your dream. The mustard seed is your intuition. The mustard seed is your faith. The mustard seed is your intel. And if you water that, throughout this period, this course, since 2013, when Elenon and Ison, those comets brought that burst of energy through, right? Now it's starting to descend upon on the Earth's realm, right? On the Earth's grid, and it's going to spread out, right? And absorbed by the Spirit, right? So, and you've been watering that, then you're going to see your return, right? Okay, and because it's only going to grow. The mustard seed's going to grow, okay? Now, so you should have been learning your craft, following your dreams, okay? And learning your dreams, that inherent programming, okay, how it works, what it is in you, okay, is Allah's gift to you, right? It's the Creator's gift to you. And you have to learn the key is in your heart. You have to learn how it works, okay? Well, the key is in your mind. The key is in your brain. Is the key in your brain? The key is in your brain, and the lock is your heart, right? So you have to use the key, the brain, to unlock the key in your heart, to unlock your heart. So for your intuition, your programming, inherent programming, gifts and talents that's been preserved in there will open up, and you can use them abundantly, right? Okay, now, because the cosmic energy induction, is going from good, that means one will be, as I said, one will be going from good to great in what appears to be overnight. It will happen. It can happen instantaneously. You just wake up and bam. I mean, it's like, wow, I didn't notice that before. Wow, I didn't think of that before. Wow, I didn't see how they thought before. Wow, I didn't know they felt the way they did before. Wow, I got feelings and sensations that I never knew you had, right? Okay, you will understand things, right, that you never understood. If you will hear things, you will be a newborn baby, and being a newborn baby, you will, when a newborn baby exits the womb, whereas before life was muffled, right? Sound was muffled. They didn't feel the wind on their skin because they were protected inside the womb. Now, once you're born out of the womb, sounds are louder. You become more sensitive to the sound. You become sensitive to vibrations. Okay. You feel, the vibration of others more sensitive, because now you're born again. You're born into the spiritual realm, right? Okay. Okay. Now, and what do we say now? And because you're acting in celestial times, things happen faster, right? You're not acting with the physical mind. You're acting with the spiritual mind. So now things happen in faster time. You're able to understand things at accelerated rates, right? Okay. Now this is due, as I said, to you're going to be acting in celestial time. Humanity now lives in the celestial time humanity now lives in, And again, it is why it was so very important to follow your intuition, which is your dreams. It is your inherent vision inside, right? Okay. Yeah, it is your vision for yourself, right? So we're going to go to video 2. Assalamu alaikum.